Story Grows, I'm Brian Patton. Today we welcome Johan and Pierre from French post-metal band Year of No Light to the podcast. Year of No Light's newest release, Les Maîtres Fous, is out today on Pelagic Records. The guys talk about their musical influences as a band, how the creation process has changed over the years, the origins of creating Les Maîtres Fous, the type of fan who listens to the band, and more. Les Maîtres Fous is a piece of music that is so inspiring to me. It reminds me of the first time I listened to Godspeed You Black Emperor or Sigur Ros's Untitled record. There's a tension and beauty in the soundscape that keeps you on the edge of your seat, waiting for the crescendo or resolution, never knowing if it's coming. I imagine this was really compelling to watch live and in the context of the movie it was written to complement. So I hope you check it out and find something to enjoy or relate to in it. Thanks so much for listening to As the Story Grows. If you're brand new to the podcast, welcome. Thanks for checking us out. You can find links in our show notes or over at asthestorygrows.com for our mailing list, our podcast community on Discord, or our Patreon page where you can support the show financially and get early access to every episode. Enjoy today's conversation with Johan and Pierre from Year of No Light. Well, welcome. Thanks for hanging out. Are you both originally from the Bordeaux region?
Yes, exactly.
I'm not
originally, no.
No.
But we all met in Bordeaux.
Yes.
Okay. Was it a university that took you to Bordeaux?
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes. Where are you both from originally?
I'm from the south of France in the Pyrenees. It's a small town called Foix.
Okay.
A very, very small town.
Yeah. I come from the countryside, right in the middle of France.
Okay.
It's called La Creuse. It's between Limoges and Clermont-Ferrand.
Nice.
It's very savage.
Yeah. What got each of you into music?
Good question. My mother was a music teacher, so I grew up with music. But I think that the first time when I was a kid, I discovered Deep Purple. I became mad at it, and I wanted to play some rock and roll, and I had to wait a few years, but yeah, it was a kind of need, and we were all really fond of music, so it was okay to play music. And punk also helped me a lot to take an instrument and be able to be in a band, and so on.
It's quite the same. Always had a lot of music at home, and it's with friends during college. Not school, and it started like that, and then we discovered the punk music, all the fanzine, and so on, and being part of the thing.
Yeah.
Yes, I think we all were involved more or less, but Johan a lot in DIY shows and punk hardcore communities, especially
exactly.
In
Yes. That's cool. So each of you kind of, even though you're kind of from, I don't know, it seems like smaller cities, like you each had good, thriving, like punk communities.
In fact, it was rather small.
Yeah.
And that's big. Because of that, we knew each other's and spent a lot of time together. And when we arrived to Bordeaux, there was way more people into that kind of music and way more energy, a lot of shows and a record shop and a lot of things.
Yes, it was very active in the past few years. Bordeaux, the scene in Bordeaux. You got a show every night, and as Johan say, everybody was knowing each other and stuff like this. So it really helped a lot.
Yeah. over the 20-year plus existence of the band, have you noticed the scene shift, whether that's away from punk or rock music? I know I've talked to bands from Lyon and Paris, and they've talked about like the metal community, how it's kind of gone away. Have you noticed that with punk or rock music in general?
Yes, yeah, it totally changed a lot. Yeah, so in Bordeaux, for example, it's rather dead now, and in every country of France and Europe, a lot of small venues are closing due to a lot of reasons, but gentrification, the price of renting space, and problems with neighbors, and rich people coming into the city center that can stand noise and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think it's rather harder today for a band to start making music. And at the same time, most of the bands started around the same time. It's maybe more professional now, as we play in way bigger venues, and it's different. But there is still a connection to the DIY scene, but it's way bigger right now.
Yeah, nothing to add.
Yeah, kind of the same as things in America. Venues are closing down for all the same reasons, and yeah, everything's kind of professionalized out of small clubs and VFW halls and that into big venues. And yeah, it's not better or worse, it's just different, I guess.
Yes.
I had to try not to be the old guy being like, it was better back then. It's just different. Yeah.
But everything was different. The gas was lower. the economy was really easy. It was easier.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah. Let's talk about Year of No Light. You guys are at university. How'd this project get started, and kind of what initially was the kind of musical emphasis and I guess rallying point for the band creatively?
I think Neurosis at first. It was a big influence. We all remember discovering Neurosis and thinking, what the fuck is it? It's so loud, it's so powerful, it's so dark. So Neurosis, and what could we say also?
Godspeed You Black Emperor at the same time. It was Neurosis at the time we all met, and we decided we wanted to play some slow, heavy orchestral music. So that's more or less like that.
But it's a funny fact. It's a fun fact. Sorry, sorry for my very bad English. But at this, we all met, as say Johan, at the Godspeed You Black Emperor show, years ago, and it was quite a coincidence, but it's still a big influence for us. Yeah.
I definitely hear that, especially on the release we're talking about today. Like, listening to that reminds me of like the first time I heard Godspeed You Black Emperor, that kind of ominous droning building of just like, what the fuck is coming next, right? What led to the change? I know initially you had a vocalist. What led to kind of the shift to being an instrumental band?
Well, our singer decided to leave the band and to live his own life. And so he split it with us. And we always liked the idea of collective. And it was the occasion, the opportunity to try this kind of new format. So we decided, yes, with 3 guitars and 2 drums, we don't need vocals anymore. Yeah. And so let's do it. But even at the time we had a singer, vocals were not predominant.
And we started to work on those songs before he left the band because he was not coming to the rehearsal anymore. It went. The transition was made naturally.
Yeah. Well, talk to me about your creative process when you approach writing an album. You know, the music spans from huge cinematic, you know, post-rock, post-metal soundscapes to just eerie feedback droning guitars. How does that process kind of take shape as you're writing, and how has that evolved over the years?
Yes, it has evolved over the years. At the very beginning, we were bringing some riffs at the rehearsal room, and everybody was building his own stuff over it. And we were also jamming a lot. And nowadays, more rationalized. Sometimes one of us come with a demo. It's under the demo, and we work the demo on the rehearsal room. Now it's more like this. Sometimes a mix between the two.
Yeah,
that's it.
Yeah,
but there is no receipt.
Yeah, are you kind of open to whatever kind of comes out sonically? Like I mean, you seem like a band with no boundaries, but it's just kind of like whatever feels right.
Yes, I will say yes.
How'd you guys get connected with Pelagic Records?
I don't remember, but maybe he contacted us. I think. Okay. I think that's it. At the time, we were looking for a new label. Mm-hmm. We were in discussion with one or two other labels, and the proposition came at the right moment.
Gotcha. Was that during lockdowns or just before, and lockdowns kind of messed up the release?
It was before we seen the deal before lockdown, before COVID.
Yes.
But yes, a few months later.
The album was ready.
Yes.
We were supposed to tour, but we decided to push back, to postpone everything after.
Yes, because of COVID, yes.
Yeah. This new release, I'm going to completely butcher this pronunciation, Les Maîtres Fous.
So, Les Maîtres Fous, the Mad Masters.
Les Maîtres Fous. I Googled, I just forgot the last half hour. What were you guys approached from the filmmaker or somebody related with the film to do this music, or was there something about the film that made you want to write this piece of music for?
Johan, je te laisse répondre.
Yeah, but we had a proposition to make a performance with a French museum called Museum Quai Branly, and we had access to their movie base, but being based in Bordeaux and them being in Paris, and they didn't allow the movies to go outside, so we needed to go on place to watch it, and it was the only one we knew before, so the choice went really fast on that documentary.
Yes, as Johan say, it was a proposal. We didn't decide one day, yes, let's do something with Jean Rouch, even if some of us were a big fan of Jean Rouch's work. But yes, we received this offer to design a kind of performance around the movie, and it was a part of an exhibition called the Invention of the Savage. I don't know if the translation is okay, but it was around the figure of the so-called savage and how it was built and how it was invented.
Okay. Did your approach to creating music for a film kind of change as opposed to your normal process of creating something?
Yes and no. Of course, it's a bit different because you have to I don't know the word in English, to sequence the movie, to find the different part of the movie, how the movie is built. So we have to do that, and once we have done that, yes. How to say, it was at each time it was a quite of natural process. It was kind of instinctive also. And perhaps the condition of rehearsal also forced us to be straightforward.
Yeah. It's also the occasion to test something different from an album.
Yes.
Yeah. This was recorded live just over 10 years ago. What led to the decision to release it now?
It's because we were a bit too slow to release it before, but when we recorded it, I think we've got some splits released. We're working on the new album. We didn't want to interfere with that, and no, we were speaking with another label to release it in the past, but it took too many time, and right now it was a right occasion to release it, to make some news because we are slow between each album.
Yes, and Pelagic was quite eager to publish it. So he made us a proposal, and we said, okay, yes, that's a good occasion. Let's do it.
Who did the album artwork?
It's a very Stéphane Tanner, a very talented guy.
Yeah.
And it's the same also who did the cover of Consolamentum also.
Okay.
And he used to play in a band called Chaos Echoes, experimental death metal band.
Yes, very, very great band.
This is a single piece of music, 29 minutes long. I don't even know how to ask. Like, when you release a piece of music like this, because music is so, everything is streaming these days, and, all these short bits of music, do you consider, how to present this in the era of streaming music, or are you not concerned with that because this is your art and the people who love it are going to find it anyways?
Yeah, we didn't think about the format because it was one piece. Yeah, we just envisaged a split between each side for the vinyl.
Yeah.
The middle, but we had a lot of jokes about streaming formats, saying that we should maybe made 10, 20 index to make more money, but instead of one single track of 30 minutes. But we when we composed, we didn't think about the streaming rules.
I mean that didn't really exist 10 years ago when you write this. So
yes, exactly. And I think our music is not adapted to this kind of formats, to perform on this kind of formats.
Right. A band releasing, 12-minute songs consistently is probably not a band that's going to do well on Spotify, unfortunately.
Yes.
Like, you're not a TikTok band, right?
Exactly. The average song used to be 2 minutes 20, I think, in iPop, and then it's maybe shorter now with TikTok.
Yeah. I just downloaded an album this morning, and it's just one song. It's an hour long. I'm just like, it works for me. This album comes out the end of the month. What's the plan for the band? You've not performed this piece of music live. I don't think you're going to go tour this album. Like, are you working on new material? Is the plan to try to play shows this year? Like, all of the above?
We've got shows at the end of the month. We are playing at Dunk Festival in Belgium, and for this is their 20th birthday, and for the occasion we are playing Austerwelt in its entirety. Then we've got some shows this summer, and yes, we're also working on a new album at the same time.
Yes,
awesome.
That's the big priority.